So it's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hi, villains, and welcome to the Love of Paul McGrath podcast as we look forward to the return of European football to Villa Park, Paddy, happening on Thursday night, 8 p.m. And I've been here scratching my head trying to remember when the team sheet was announced for the last game. I'm trying to figure out if it was an admin error for the team sheet tantrum. But I kind of stopped and I went, who cares? It's Villa Park. It's back. European football is back. And I'm delighted to chat about it. And do you know what? I'm even delighted to chat about it. I'm more delighted to chat about it, considering we've got a 5-0 cushion going into this one. This is going to be exciting, I think, Paddy.
Well, I don't think it was an admin error. I think it would just have to be in a little bit earlier for European football. The unfortunate thing is, due to work commitments, I won't be able to do a team sheet tantrum on Thursday. So you're going to have to arrange that one yourself, unfortunately.
That'll be fine.
Because I think I will be stuck, but hopefully I will be in front of a TV if they're showing it anywhere, because they're still in some dispute of whether people can actually watch the game. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it on Thursday.
I think it's nonsense. I think it's nonsense the game won't be shown. With all the red button options you have on all these various TV channels, it's complete and utter shambles stuff that they can't get this on.
Plus, the cameras are there anyway.
Cameras are there. Exactly, Paddy. The biggest problem I have with this is I can guarantee you here in Ireland, if I turn on BT Sport 3, I will be watching Vaduz versus whoever, a complete nutting game. And yet, in the market of the UK and Ireland, it will potentially, and look, it will all be sorted out. It always gets sorted out, but it will be sorted out. It might even be on BBC iPlayer or something like that, but it will be on TV somewhere. But the fact that there's a dispute over it at the moment makes no sense. It's not as if they didn't know this was going to happen a week ago.
Yeah. And look, you have to take everything with a pinch of salt with disputes and stuff like that, because I understand completely where they're coming from, that they're not going to release the footage of a live game until they sold as many tickets as they possibly can. Unfortunately, it's a harder sell having gone and beaten them 5-0 at Easter Road. So it's not going to sell out. Everyone knows that now, because you're literally playing a dead rubber. And I think if we put out the under-18s, we're not going to lose this game. That's just my opinion. And that could be what they're doing. They're just playing hardball to see how many tickets get sold, and then they will show it somewhere, hopefully.
Yeah, that's likely what it is. They kind of did the same as this. Everybody knew it was going to be on BBC Scotland for the first leg.
Yeah.
Everybody knew. It just wasn't announced.
And then the minute it was sold out, it was announced.
It was sold out. Yeah, it was announced. It's going to be the same. Whereby we will find out probably tomorrow at some stage. BBC Scotland are carrying this, or BBC iPlayer will be carrying it somewhere in the iPlayer, because it's nonsense.
I watched the last round against between Hibs and Luzerne on Hibs TV with American commentary. So it was confusing me altogether.
Absolutely. And it's look, it will be sorted out, and Villa and Hibs will be somewhere to watch tomorrow. I would be blown away if we don't get news tomorrow that it's on some TV. Probably about tea time tomorrow. That it's going to be carried on some TV station. But anyway, less of that. We're going to be up against the managerless Hibs. It seems. It doesn't like they're going to have an appointment in before tomorrow. They're talking about lots of different names: Graham Arnold, Neil Lennon, obviously. Neil Lennon. You know the phrase of "never go back." Neil Lennon never heard that phrase. He always goes back, no matter what club it is. He always goes back to manage it. Looks like he's open anyway to becoming next Hibs manager. But Lee Johnson won't be in the dugout for them at Villa Park, and it's going to be damage limitation for them. I think at Villa Park on Thursday night, they had a run out against not a run out on Saturday. They played Livingston, and they played them at home. and they were beaten 3-2. You know, they
Mhm.
tried to rest players. They even took off David Marshall in that game, their goalkeeper. They went to the 4-3-3 setup in that game, completely changed up the tactics. Livingston got a goal early on. Martin Boyle got a goal back, and then 2 minutes later, then the Livingston scored again and scored 2 goals in quick succession after that. And writings was on the wall for Hibs. They're not playing good football at the moment. They did have that run against Luzerne. They've now got to play Aston Villa, and you know it's as you said, Paddy. It's got a dead rubber feel to it because it is 5 goals. They're not going to get 5 goals back. And when we come on, and we will speak about it in a moment, about the team that I think Aston Villa are going to put out, there's going to be a lot of change with Liverpool on the horizon for Villa, because there's no need to play an awful lot of your big starters in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I did say last week that I hope they do, and everybody gets a run out and gets the play time together. And I think we saw the benefits of that at the weekend with players like Boubacar Kamara, who I didn't feel was up to speed, was all of a sudden up to speed when we got to play Burnley, and he was excellent. So that game stood to him last Thursday. Whether he needs it this week or not is another story altogether, because obviously we got Liverpool ahead, so we're definitely not going to see Emi Martinez, regardless of whether he's fully fit or not.
No.
You're not going to see certain players risked. I would imagine Ollie Watkins will be stood down for this one to have him ready for the weekend, along with a few others. And like, we can pick and choose who they are, but only the professor knows what's best for who he has. But there's a huge long list of I think what's classed as a B list in UEFA, that we've got a load of kids on that list. So now is the time to play them. Let them experience European football at Villa Park, in case we need to call on them towards the back end of this group stages, hopefully.
Absolutely. Like, I expect nearly to see Omari Kellyman start this game. I expect John Duran to be up top. I expect Robin Olsen in goals. Bertie Traore will be in there. Chambers will be in there somewhere. We probably need to see one of our centre halves play in there. I don't think we're going to see Josh Feeney. Maybe we see Carlos in there, get him another 90 minutes. Don't think he's going to be under a ton of pressure regardless. Left back, call it. We've only
Seb
one.
Revan?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I think Seb Revan probably just sits in there. Why not? Why not play him? You know, it's not like we're cup tying him if we are going to send him on loan to Northampton or whoever we usually send players on loan to. You know, it's not like we're going to be cup tying him in Europe. So play him. He's our player. Play him. In midfield, I expect to see Tielemans. I think we might see maybe one or two of the starters in midfield. I
wouldn't be surprised to see Dougie Louise get a rest and a B Kamara and Tielemans, just to see what they can do together, just to give them that time together. I still think it would be beneficial for Kamara to get maybe 60 minutes, and who knows if Dendoncker is up to playing 30 minutes, get him out there. And
he's not back training yet, though, as far as we know, Paddy. Sure,
apparently he trained on Monday, so I don't know whether he's at full tilt or not. But if he is, give him the 30 minutes when we take Kamara off after 60. Yeah. But I think it would be beneficial to have the continuity of Kamara after the weekend. I think he needs it, and I mean that. I think he needs that, just that little bit of nurturing to keep him up to speed and be ready for the weekend.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Of all the midfielders, that's why I kind of paused. I think he's the guy that sets in there. I think it's crying shame that Timmy Bunham is injured and not available. Because I just love to see him in there beside the Tielemans, you know, beside somebody who's done it all. It'd be perfect for him to sit in there. I'm not saying he even needs to play as a 6 in there, you know. I don't think we even need a 6 in this game, to be honest with you. Like, with 5-0 up, it's just a crying shame he's not available. I think it'd be perfect for him. Like, it'd be interesting now to see who's on the bench as well. We might even see Travis Patterson on the bench. We might see, like, Tommy O'Reilly's ripping it up at the moment. I know we're not getting all the results we want at underage level, if you want to call it academy level. We've got some players playing some good football. Tommy O'Reilly is playing really, really good football at the moment. we might see somebody like Josh Feeney on the bench. I'm trying to think of other players there as well that we might see, but there might be a couple of other names from our youth team in there. They're kind of a free hit with regards to the UEFA listings and stuff like that. So it's in our interest to do that. Now we will. Unai Emery isn't going to go there and take the piss altogether with squad rotation. Like he's the substitutes bench will still have some players that we were familiar with. Yeah, and as I see Lionel says, I'd pop Rory Wilson on the bench. Yeah, I probably would, but why not? But at the end of the day, Travis Patterson seems to be ahead of him. So
Well, he's a bit older, I think, as well, isn't he? Is he a bit older than him? I think Rory Wilson's still only 17. Will that be right?
17, yeah. I don't think we'll see Rory Wilson there, just because I think Unai will just go with people they've trained with the team over the course of the off season. And that's why Seb Revan jumps to mind, because number one, because he's the only other left back at the club, really, of age of maturity, if you want to call it that way, that's fit anyway. But I'm really excited to see. I think Kellyman starts. I think we could see a front three: Kellyman one side, Bertie on the other side, and Duran up top, and maybe some sort of a 4-3-3. Then I don't know who plays in the middle with Tielemans and Kamara. If we say that they're the guys who are going to play in there, but it's going to be interesting. That's why I think we could maybe see McGinn from the start. Like McGinn doesn't run out of energy. That's probably why I'm thinking McGinn might be there from the start. Also, it's against Hibs, captain of the team of Villa Park. Maybe he gets the first 50 minutes, 60 minutes, and maybe a Tommy O'Reilly comes in, maybe a young player comes in then and takes over. And McGinn plays kind of that further forward role. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the team sheet is and the lineup is, and we'll carry the team sheet tantrum, as I say. I've put it in for 6:35 because I've tried. I think it was like an hour and 25 minutes before the kickoff the last time that the team came out. But keep an eye on.
An hour and 15, I think. An hour and 15, I think.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe it was.
Yeah. I think our previews are going to be kind of like this for most of the games in the group stages. That we're going to see some changes, and it's going to be very hard to predict unless we get a really hard group where he's going to need to have all guns blazing going out. And don't get me wrong, I think we'll start off that way the first couple of games, but it's very hard for a game like this to even second guess what he'd do. But as I said, sprinkling of magic and some of the gold dust who are there all along, and then just the right amount of youth to come in and bring them on and let them experience nights like this can only be a good thing.
Yeah, and like Hibs, Tim's just after reading my mind. Hibs might rotate like hell as well for this game. Like, what's the point in throwing out your full team there? No, they're not going to.
I think it will be near enough what we played last week, and the reason being is if you put a caretaker manager in there, the last thing he wants is to be remembered for playing the 16-year-old kids that lost 8-0 to Villa. So he's not going to want that, whoever that is. I just haven't been up to speed to see who stepped into that position, but it's unlikely, even if they appoint a manager tonight or tomorrow, that manager will be in the dugout, because they don't want to start off a manager in this game either. So whoever that is will come in and oversee things up to the weekend and probably step into the fray then on Monday. So the caretaker manager, I would imagine, will be there up until the weekend. So yeah, they're in a bad place. The bottom of the league. They've had a really, really bad start despite what they've done in this conference league, and I'm really not expecting anything from them. Just, I've nothing to suggest that they're going to offer anything in attacking options against us. And regardless of who we put out, I think we'll have enough there to go and score a few goals.
Paddy, do you think that maybe Unai throws a spanner in the works and maybe start somebody like an Ollie Watkins to try and play himself into form? Hasn't scored in the
Possibly.
Premier League yet.
Yeah.
Obviously had his hat trick. You know, strikers want to score goals. Doesn't matter who the
Mm.
opposition is. Like, you know, a ruthless striker wants to score goals. I mean, anybody who listened to my post match on Burnley will know what I thought of him in the Burnley game. I thought he worked extremely hard. You know, I thought the shot. There wasn't much more he could have done with the shot. Just the angle he was at goal, and James Trafford made a good save. Like, he held on to it most of the time. He palmed those around the post. I think it looked worse because Trafford made such a good save, if that makes sense at all.
Mhm.
But yeah, look, you know, if he opened up his body there, he excused that one wide. I've 100%. I think if you give it to even some of the best strikers in the world, they try and open it up on their right foot there, they skew that one wide at the far post, and then it looks awful altogether. So I'd like to see him score goals, though. I'm not excusing him. Everybody knows I'm a big fan of Ollie Watkins. I'm not excusing his lack of goals at the moment, and I think we might see him start with and maybe withdrawn at halftime. Maybe just an opportunity to get a couple of goals. But then again, if you
Possibly.
don't
Yeah.
have the guys who feed him the bullets on a regular basis behind him, you know,
Mm.
you're only starting him for the sake of it then as well. So it's
Yeah.
going to be something that we'll look to, I suppose, in the team sheet to
Mm.
see what the crack is. And to be honest, I'm torn because I really want to see John Duran start from the start. John Duran could go and
I
get
do
a
too.
hatful of
Yeah.
goals in this as well, you know. So
Yeah.
and we
And
need
I
him
think,
up to speed
yeah,
of English football or British football
exactly.
too. So
He needs to be playing games as well when we decide to stand down Ollie Watkins. I think it's important that he gets in there
yeah,
because at the moment he's our second choice striker. Obviously, we all think something else is going to happen before the weekend, and if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But John Duran at the moment is our second choice striker. If this is an opportunity to give him game time, I'd be really surprised. Where I won't be surprised is to see the changes, as in Chambers must play. Definitely Yuri Tielemans must play. Definitely Bertie must play. You know, these ones coming in that will potentially be back up on Sunday need to get game time under their belt, and they're the changes I'd like to see made on Thursday evening.
on that back four, Paddy. So if both of us have settled on the fact that Seb Revan is likely to start at left back,
Yeah, I
um,
believe so.
who did we come down on is going to start at right back? We didn't, did we?
We didn't say it at all, but for me, I would have no problem with it being Chambers and playing the two first choice or two of the first choice centre halves. They're not going to have.
Carlos, Paul,
They're
maybe,
not going to have a bad. They're not going to have a rough time of it. It'll be a nice training match for them. So play Chambers at right back. Play two decent centre halves. That way, no mistakes are made. There's a bit of continuity with the passing the ball out from the back as well. So that would be where I'd play Chambers and allow maybe give Konza the break. Play Carlos and Pau Torres, and give Cash and Konza the break and have them fit for the weekend.
Yeah, because you know, from my mindset as well, I think Konza isn't playing this game regardless. I think Chambers might be right centre half, potentially. You know, he'd be right centre half, and they play Cash right back. But yeah, I thought it was just interesting. I think what you said there will be the situation. I think get Carlos time, get Pau Torres time, and play Chambers at right back, and then go with that three at the back like we saw against Burnley, and push your Kellymans and your Bertrand Traore is forward, and push your Seb Evans and your Kellymans forward, and play Bertrand up front alongside Duran, and you know, just go for it. Like, you know, I think what I would be disappointed in is no matter what team we go out with, I want to still see the same patterns of play, because what would really get the juices flowing for me now would be see replication amongst our second team, quote unquote, for those who are watching, our second team. If we can replicate what we do with our first team, quote unquote, having made all those changes, that's very exciting, because plug and play becomes a potential then, you know, from players. And it means that, you know, that Unai Emery's coaching and methodology is really sinking into the group, as opposed to just the first 11. And for a team that has look, I'm going to say it, we've got a more threadbare squad than a lot of other clubs. We're no Chelsea, we're no Man City, we're no Arsenal even have a wealth of talent. We're not at that level. A lot of other teams around us, Spurs have a wealth of talent. West Ham have a wealth of talent they can call upon. We have 18 players that we can call upon, senior players. I would go so far as to say outside of goalkeepers. So we need to have that plug and play opportunity, and that's what I'm really looking forward to seeing. Same attacking patterns, the same defensive patterns, and to see if it's become business as usual in how we play, regardless of who's out in the field. That's exciting because there is an element, I think, to Unai Emery's play of almost international football, as I've said before. It's methodologies, it's ideologies, it's very much theological kind of football. And then when you go out in the field, if you know it inside out, and if you know what he wants, what way he wants you to play, you should be able to replicate it, regardless of who you are. That's why he's called the professor, and that's why he's got such good cup football pedigree. So I'm looking to see that tomorrow. Now, I'm not expecting it to be perfect, but I'm just looking to see signs of it because that's exciting. I think for me as well.
You keep saying tomorrow, so just so people aren't confused, the game is on Thursday.
Yeah, the game is on Thursday. Sorry, the game is on Thursday. Yeah. Most people are watching this tomorrow anyway. People on playback will be watching this.
Fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. Paddy, I didn't get your views on the Burnley game. Now, usually, and say, hey, guys, we're learning. We're learning to stay on topic for the first 20 minutes as opposed to do the first 20 minutes off topic. And then people giving out to us wondering when we were going to speak about Hibs. Give me your view on Burnley. We didn't get to speak to you afterwards. How did you find the game went for you? Pluses, minuses, refereeing situations? Go full Paddy on it.
Well, look, there's very little to complain about. The one thing I hope we've learned, and I hope Pau Torres has learned from, and I don't mean to start on a negative, but you make a mistake at this level, you're punished, regardless of whether it's Burnley or Liverpool. So that will be the one thing that's drummed into this team all week ahead of the big game at the weekend. Obviously, I think we're going to get through this one at a canter on Thursday. So heading into the weekend it's absolutely vital that we're not making errors like that. So if you're giving the ball to Darwin Núñez like that, or if you're coughing up possession to Salah, then there's a goal in the offering. So it's just, it's not going in on him at all. It's just a learning process, and thankfully it didn't cost us anything more than a clean sheet.
What time are you? What time or what? It was a further goal. What are you referring to?
For the goal. Yeah. But look, we played some amazing passages of play. We scored probably. If Man City had scored it, we would be looking at it on Sky Sports News all week. That goal where nine players touched the ball in 19 passes, and the one thing I loved about it is I watched somebody tagged me in something on Twitter that the goal was replayed from behind the goal, so you watched the movement out of possession of all those players.
Yeah.
And one of the most influential players in the move didn't touch the ball, and that was Luca Dean. Luca Dean was out hogging the touchline, whereas all the passages of play, you can see the two guys on the wing are just anticipating this is eventually going to go to Luca Dean. And it just said to me, do you know what? We in the last couple of games have created a fear of Luca Dean. So if we can bring that into a load of different places within our team, then we'll create a fear amongst even the big boys when they come to play us. So we'll get more respect with when we're in possession. So I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the performance. Brilliant goal from Diaby. Absolutely super goal from Diaby. If you want a ref rant, the referee should have come back and booked the player for pulling. And on the other hand, he played a brilliant advantage, but should have come back and booked the player. Poor referee in there. Poor and good referee in there, whatever way you want to look at it. But he didn't have a whole pile to do. He let a couple of fouls go that could have been yellow cards. It has been yellow cards throughout the season so far. So for that reason, that would be my only criticism of him. But look, we're in a really, really good place. Absolutely in a really, really good place. Obviously, we've got that mountainous task of playing Liverpool at the weekend. And it's going to be really interesting to see, number one, if we bring anybody else in, and number two, how he lines up to try and combat them at the weekend, because they had an absolutely incredible result against Newcastle playing with 10 men. So it's going to be one hell of a task to go there and get something. But then again, we've got to believe that we'll be able to do it, and I'm sure the players do.
Yeah, it's I agree with you. I agree with a lot of what you said there, Paddy. You know, you mentioned about that 19 pass goal. Let's not forget we had a 17 pass goal as well against Everton. You know, going back to the Twitter piece I put up about Unai Emery's attacking build up. It's that's by design. That's not by perseverance or by fluke. You need to have a lot of passes for people to get into positions. You need, and once again, I go back to footballing ideology, I suppose, really, or whatever way you want to call it, philosophy, whereby if we see the players buy into this tomorrow, then that's really exciting because you need to own the ball. We need to be more ball dominant. Unai Emery spoke about it at length last season. He wants us to own the ball. He wants us to have possession, and we saw it towards the end of last season. This year, yes, I know Burnley had more possession than us at the weekend, but it's having possession at the right time and being able to manipulate teams around the field with that possession. And we're beginning to do that, which is really good. We didn't do it against Newcastle at all. And I think what happened was, look, you can call it the two teams we played, the three teams we've played since then are vastly inferior to Newcastle. But at the end of the day, we didn't do what we did with these guys. We weren't patient enough on the ball. And you can talk about high presses and everything. Burnley's high press was fine at the weekend. You know, it was as good. You'll see high presses like that all over the Premier League. You won't see too many of them better though. So that question mark was there against Everton. Against Burnley, we were well able to pass that ball around and get past that press, that high press, which I knew we would be because of the two midfielders that they had. So 17 pass goal and a 19 pass goal. Let's surpass it. Let's get it. So that means that we should be on for a 21 pass goal against Liverpool at the weekend. And I'd like to see match of the day, not show that. Then if that is the case, but interesting. Paddy, couple of transfers we've been linked to it. I've done a piece on Clement Longley. Did it just before we came on here. I'm going to release it tomorrow. It'll be pre-recorded, just on my views on it. Do you expect much business to be done between now? Like, I suppose not what you like to see done. Do you expect much business to be done between now and Friday close of business?
But he doesn't. You know, we can only judge. I haven't studied his previous windows, but we can only judge him on what he did in January, and he didn't panic. He chose to trust what he had. I think he's a little bit shy of having a full squad, so I think he needs to top it up. I think a lot will depend on whether Coutinho goes out the door. That could be done tomorrow. If it's not done tomorrow, it probably won't be done at all. Well, won't be done before the transfer window. Say, I know we can go to Qatar or Saudi Arabia into September, so their transfer window stays open. But obviously
that's why I think it will be done, and I think we'll bring his replacement.
Yeah,
and then wait for him to get fit, and then
that's why I say this needs to be done tomorrow if it's going to be done, because it's just for financial fair play. We can't hope that he will go after the transfer window closes and bring in replacements before it. So I hope it's done tomorrow if it's going to be done. If it's not, so be it too. We'll just have to trust that he believes that he has something to offer this team still. But I do believe there's still a couple of players short, if not three players, and there's definitely something in the pipeline, because I just can't. I refuse to believe that he's happy with what he has, basically.
Yeah, I've the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other shoulder. So I've the devil telling me, yeah, he refused to believe, like you said there, I refuse to believe he's happy with what he has. Then I have the angel on the other shoulder going, but he's not going to spend for the sake of it, you know. But look, once again, we've got a director of football in there, you know. So it's like, and in a lot of ways that can be beneficial, where you have somebody to say, yes, Unai, I know you can make a silk purse out of a sow's ear, but I ain't running a risk here that Watkins gets injured, and we've to start playing somebody up front, or that we have to drag somebody back from that's out on loan, like a Louis Barry or somebody like that, like we did with Bertrand Traore last year. Like, remember, we would have been really fucked if Bertrand Traore didn't come back last year, and we wouldn't be in Europe if Bertrand Traore didn't come back last year and score that super goal against Leicester. You know, so we rode our luck with injuries, and even when we got them, Bertrand Traore stepped up for that one game or 2 games. I think he scored 2 goals, and that was it. You know, we can't run that risk this year again. And we may very well do it.
I don't believe it's the end of the outgoings either. We were looking at Philogene Bidace potentially going along with Keenan Davis. So there has to be something in the pipeline.
I think
God knows what that is. I think there could be something in Clement Longley. He's a bit of a mouthful, that one, isn't it?
Lenglet. Yeah.
Isn't that Longley, no?
No, it is Longley. Yeah. I was saying Lendlet because I was going to make a joke then, said that we probably sign him on loan. And I'm okay. I think we might bring in 2 players and both of them might be on loan. Fine.
But you can only have a certain amount of loan players, can't you? Is it 3? And what have we? Is it just one we have at the moment in Zaniolo? Is he the only loan player?
Zaniolo is the only loan player in. All the rest of them were purchases. How many? Fill there, Paddy, and
and look, bringing in two loan to boys wouldn't be a bad option either. So we'll. I think you're right. I think he will bring in a striker. Longley will help him out in a couple of different positions there, and it's kind of a sensible signing if it happens, providing the maths are not astronomical. And then maybe one more, because we still haven't talked about the fact that it could be we could be losing another left back as well. So I'm hoping not.
We're not going anywhere, Paddy.
I got some grief on social media for saying that I wouldn't let him go. I still believe that. I think we have to wear big boys trousers now with big boys pockets and pay these players what they're due. And if somebody has chosen to spend them that money, there we go.
Premier League clubs may not register more than 2 players on loan at any one time. The maximum number of loans registerable in the same season is 4, and under no circumstance, Paddy, shall more than 1 be from the same club at any one time. Under no circumstance. Just like under no circumstance should the assistant manager be in the technical area. No. Under no circumstance should that happen as well. Yeah. So the one thing that came from PremierLeague.com. So we know.
The one thing we do know for sure is that we won't be loaning any players from Galatasaray before the transfer window closes. So
I'm heartbroken. I'm crestfallen. But I do think we will. Like the thing is, watch my Clement Longley piece, because there's a story behind himself in Barcelona at the moment that bears watching. That bears watching. Put it that way. Anyway. I think that's really going to do it, Paddy. I can't think of anything else to talk about.
No problem at all. Have to try and find out who Captain Nugent, Captain Nugget says he's related to a former Premier League referee.
Can we get him on the podcast?
The key word in there is former, and if he's a Brummie, it could be Andre Mariner. Maybe that's just a guess.
Can we get him on the podcast? Because I'm blue in the teeth from sending messages and sending emails trying to find Keith Hackett's contact details to get him on. I want to sit Keith Hackett and Paddy in a room, because Hackett gives it large on Twitter, and I think it could be box office if we were to do that. So if anybody does have any contact for Keith Hackett, I'd love to, and not to ambush him or anything like that. I think it'll be a genuinely good conversation, because he doesn't agree with an awful lot of what refs do either, and he's a former ref himself, so fair play to him. Kieran O'Callaghan, yes, I do have something I want to say. Anybody who's looking to come to our live podcast, or anybody who has bought a ticket for our live podcast, which is on in 10 days from today, squeaky bum time, better get stuff organized. 10 days from today, the podcast is on in Dublin, in the Laughter Lounge in Dublin. We're super looking forward to it. I joke when I say we don't have things organized. We've it organized within a T. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great day, and it's going to be a great night, and we've stuff that we can, we will announce to people on the day as well. So it's going to be really, really nice. We look to have secured a very small limited number of tickets that will go on general sale on Thursday, the 31st of August. It's a small number of tickets. It will be 10 or less. I just wanted to throw it out there for anyone who listens to the podcast. I'm going to put it up on social media. A ton of people. And I don't mean that, like, this isn't sounding cocky or anything. It's actually really like it's almost overwhelming, the amount of support we've got for this. And I know we keep on saying this, but there will be 300 people in attendance at this thing, at this live podcast. And I genuinely, hand on heart, think we could have sold 450, 500. The amount of people that have messaged us saying we missed out on tickets and we're disappointed. And I must say as well, you know, unfortunately, it's an over 18s event. So if you're thinking of bringing your kids to it, unfortunately, they likely will not be allowed into the venue. Alcohol is on sale. So
there's no likely about it. They definitely won't be.
They won't be allowed in. Yeah, they won't be allowed in. So
even my own daughter can come. So
yeah.
if I've been warned by the venue that will not happen. She will not get in. So unfortunately, they're the rules.
They're the rules, yeah. So and what I'm saying is that, you know, we wish everybody could come, and we wish we had another 200 tickets to sell, but we will have some more that will go on sale. They'll be on general sale, and they'll be on general sale on Thursday, in and around the time of the match. So I'll put it up on social media. I'm going to try and put them for sale for 6 p.m. on Thursday. Give people time to know a time so they can get on and try and get them. But we've squeezed every last available square foot out of this venue, I think, for ticketing. And thank you so much to everybody for all the support and all the well wishes that you've given us with regards to messages, and we're really looking forward to putting it on. It's going to be a great gig, and as I say, yeah, it's amazing.
I think we can safely say it won't be the last one either. Hopefully, unless it doesn't fall on his arse on the day, but we'll go and have some fun. We'll go and have some fun, and hopefully we'll have many more of these that people can come enjoy. Mr. Nugent said he's related to Alan Wiley. Here you go. I don't know where Alan Wiley is from.
Yeah. Kieran O'Callaghan says, guys, do I need a translator for the live podcast? Brummie to Irish, Irish to Brummie. There will be Brummie Sign Language on the day. That's what we're going to do. Off to the side, just in a little box like you see on late night music videos and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm only joking. You'll be fine. You'll be too drunk anyway, Kieran, to understand what we're saying. So it won't be the translation that you need at all. Anyway, we're digressing really now. Looking forward to Villa and Hibs, as I say. One of the team sheet tantrum I'm really looking forward to. Keep an eye on YouTube and on social media for the timing. Probably about 6:45 I'll go live for that team sheet tantrum, and we'll be back bang on full time for full-time whistle match review as well. So looking forward to that. And if you guys look like what you see tonight and like what you see every time, come join us as well. Be delighted to get your opinions on it. But thanks very much, everybody. Really appreciate everything you do for the podcast. Really appreciate it, you giving us your time. Thumbs up, subscriptions, all that kind of jazz. I think we reached 6,300 subs on YouTube, which is brilliant. And thank you so much to every single one of you. The road to 10K is what I'm going to call it. We'll get there at some stage, maybe 20 years time, Paddy, but we'll get there.
It's all about quality, not quantity, Neil. And we have the best. Got an amazing parish following us.
Exactly.
And that's all that matters.
Exactly, and plus I do hold a sneaky wish to be the oldest Villa podcaster that's still going.
When am I retiring? So
I have to. I just hoping I outlive you, Paddy. That's all it is. I'm hoping I outlive you. Right, we're really digressing. It's getting morbid now. Rightio, everyone. We're going to see you again on Thursday for Team Sheet Tantrum. In the meantime, thank you so much. Stay safe, stay healthy, and all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.